Good afternoon and good evening from Taiwan. Thank you for joining us today. We have Johnny Chiu in a design talk, Designing the Future, Embracing the Power of a New Asian Culture. Johnny, you're still mute.
Hello,
Hi,
hi. My name
hi.
is Johnny Chiu. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for
Hi,
being with us
guys.
today, and we're ready to go.
Huh?
Thank you for joining us today, and we are ready to go. If you would like
Oh,
to share your
great.
screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Did you share the
Wonderful.
sound?
Yes,
Okay.
oh,
Okay.
give me 1 second. I remember this. Good, good. Okay, thank you for the reminder.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. So, hello, my name is Johnny Chiu. I'm from JC Architecture and Design. I'm based in Taiwan. Today, I'd like to share with you my experiences after coming back from around the world and opening my firm in Taiwan. My talk is about designing the future, embracing the power of new Asian culture. And I think I am quite lucky in the aspect that I grew up in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Sweden, United States, and then coming back, I see the West as this really beautiful innovation and full of modernity, really beautiful buildings. But when I come back to Asia, there's a lot of things I didn't really understand. Um, but I still open my design company, JC Architecture and Design, and I finally realized what it is I'm doing here. And how lucky it is for me to be here. I want to share with you actually only three very interesting projects that talk about the power of new Asian identity, the new Asian culture. And the three are all very interesting, which is regarding transportation. So the first project I'd like to share with you is actually really called The Future. Um, when we're talking about the transportation in Taiwan, one of the main subject or the main transportation that everybody goes on is trains. Trains live within us when we're kids, when we go to see our grandparents, when we travel to the countryside, when we go and see our girlfriends, boyfriends, when we go to work. So it's basically the lifeline that takes over, all the transportations. And so it's a very, very special memory, especially for me, to maintain this train memory, to have a beautiful train memory. Unfortunately, in 2019, February, Taiwan Railway decided to design one of their own trains. And this was the result. As you can see, 2.55 million euros designed like this flower and the blue chair and the blue carpet. So it's a very, very big shock. Um, and this big shock really set a really bad branding throughout the whole of Taiwan. These are publications from very, very important magazines. They call it the Taiwan Aesthetic Catastrophe. It's being called the ugliest train. And this, by the way, going back again, this is done in 2019. So it's not like 20 years ago. How could government spend this money and then the green headrest with a blue chair? It's just a lot of things doesn't make sense, right? And how could a hospital like space be moved onto the train? If you see if you see the bin in the back, it's like a bin from the streets. So everything was really horrific. So seeing this news, I also felt really, really sad. How could a country like Taiwan um, have such a bad design taste, especially for such an important vehicle and transportation? I felt I need to do something about it. I feel like I shouldn't just also curse at it or like badmouth it. If I'm a designer, if I'm an architect, what can I do to help the train, to help the Taiwan Railway to be better? So, but without understanding and knowing anyone, I didn't know what to do. So I decided to send an open letter out to all my friends. Hopefully, one of my friends will know somebody and know somebody and know somebody, and then get me in to meet the big boss, so to speak. And so, of course, the letter went, to all my friends. Nothing really happened. But finally, 2 months later, a letter came back, right? It says, Johnny, it's great that you have this thinking. I'd like to give you 2 weeks to give you some design time, only 2 weeks, to make a proposal to Taiwan Railway. And let's see what you can do. Of course, very excited. 2 weeks is a long time, right? Sounds like a long time, or sounds like a short time. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Everything jumped in, everyone burning the midnight oil, and this was the presentation. We told our clients that actually the train going through Taiwan is very, very beautiful. So it shouldn't have too much of decorative elements. All you need to do is remove the wall, remove the ceiling, and that's it. You allow the most beautiful things to come in. And I think that should be enough. It started, we wanted to design from a sense of journey. The journey where the train moves to the most beautiful part of Taiwan, meeting the most creative chefs and people. When we bring them on board, maybe we can stop by the harbor and then pick up the most freshest seafood. And then maybe we can stop by the farmland and the countryside and share a bowl of rice with everyone. We want to design the train with nature. We want to start to design the train with culture. A linkage to community is very important. And finally, sustainability. Because the train is not a new built train. It's actually reclaimed from 50 years ago. This almost abandoned train. We salvaged it, we saved it, made it into this new journey experience. We started from an anticipated journey, which starts from a ticket. So I'm sure you have all seen this, the Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. So this is so beautiful, I think. Having a kid to open that, finally find that golden ticket and that smile. The smile is what I wanted to create and design. So these are the railway tickets and the HSR tickets in Taiwan. Unfortunately, just no, doesn't have that beautiful appeal to it. So we said, can we restart to design that ticket so that when you open it, when you have that final ticket on you, you're very excited and you can't wait to be on board. So this is a ticket that we work with the company to finally design one with the envelope, first of all, beautiful envelope, and then with your name, with your seat number, with the dishes that you taste, and even give you a postcard. So when you ride the train, you can pass it and you can write some memories on it and give it to you, post it out when you arrive at a destination. Next, we start to design from the exterior of the train. Because the train is an old train called 莒光号. So it has this orange to it that we should reserve. We should preserve. We shouldn't touch it at all. but we still wanted to have a sense of luxury. So and that brings us to the black car. The blackness also is the presidential railway car in the past. So the black and the orange mixed together became a new train color. But actually, the purpose I use black is to streamline the train. Because it's an old train, we cannot change the configuration to make it more like streamlined and beautiful proportion. So we use color instead to make it even longer. And so seen from afar, it's like two beautiful lines that goes across the countryside. With 13 railways cars attached, it's this thin, I call it like a highlighter. As a highlighter goes throughout the country, it circles the most beautiful parts of Taiwan. So we designed a 28C car with 4-seater and 2-seaters. And we designed a 26 car with bars and lounges. So various events can be hosted here. So if we go back to what we saw earlier on, that's the bar from before, and that's the new bar. You see the big, huge change. It's very, very interesting. The big design elements that we can input to elevate the train experience. We aim to use locally sourced available materials as much as possible so we can continue the sustainable thinking behind the train travel. So this is in its final look. There's many details like the black marbles that you really only sit next to your windows that you can feel. And the lights just touching the base to allow that window frame to pop out. So when you go across the countryside, the window and the view jumps out into you. While designing, we always remember this is the old train. So we try very hard to keep the heritage and the culture of what the old train was. So this is actually the calligraphy here is from Japanese sensei, which is Japanese teacher, which they wrote 50 years ago, which we kept and glorify on the exterior of the train. We kept some of the old conditioning thus to express its original beauty. We are actually very thrilled now that the Taiwan Railway has a new identity of black and orange, as it's their new fleet of trains. But I always say this as a joke, that Asia has a Hello Kitty, and it's always hard to beat Hello Kitty. My kids will probably go to Hello Kitty car than the train I designed. It's a very difficult and challenging process, but with much rewards. It takes a lot of communication to discuss with the train contractors and the clients. So there's many three-way communications to allow this 50-year-old train to become today's the moving kitchen.
这不是一台普通的餐车。米其林餐车这个想法，或台铁餐车这个想法，其实是延伸明日号1.0的思想，把台湾的美景带在车上，然后让台湾有一个新的 riding 的 experience。那明日号2.0的时候，是不是除了咖啡以外，除了简餐以外，除了美好的风景以外 ，What else can we do？
我们用旧有的车型做打造，把在地的一些食材。米其林等级的美食带入我们的列车上。 其实对整个团队，乃至于是我们美学小组的委员，跟我们参与的车辆制造商、设计师，都是非常大的一个挑战。这样的一个过程，事实上历时了2年之久，所以可以看得出来，我们台铁还有我们所有团队，对于这个明日号餐车以及备餐车，这样的一个用心，也希望未来能够获得社会大众再一次的支持与肯定。
整个火车上，我们更注意到的是说，它永远右边的部分都是朝着山，左边部分永远是朝着海。我们做了一个比较大的突破，山景的那面呢，原本的有的木品直接拉下来，让它跟山景的部分结合。靠海的那面呢，我们把窗户拉大，让更多的 seaside 跟 natural lighting 从这边拉进来。
怎么样让比较钢铁般的火车带一些比较柔软的材质进去？
小时候在南部的时候，我最喜欢的一个体验就是坐在我阿嬷的椅子上，有点刺刺的感觉，然后有点香味，那种竹编的香味的感觉，我觉得是台湾的一种 memory。我们希望我们设计的灯光，某方面来讲，它都是一个艺术品。所以您上车的时候，可以仔细看每一个灯光片，你都可以去扭、去弯，然后去产生你想要做的一个形状出来。我们可以绕台湾一圈，然后我可以在各个不同的城镇把最好的食材带上来，再配上那个城镇最有 character 的厨师。
我相信它会是一个前所未有的旅行经验。这些美景其实是你一般开车或走路你看不到的。
我觉得明日号其实是一种把时间放慢的一种能力，让你慢慢的去体会到厨师的艺术，还有台湾的风景。
因为唯有慢，你才会细细的品味，你才会认为在这段旅程里会留下更深刻的记忆。
We don't live for Instagram. We live for that life-enriching experience.
So we're also very fortunate enough to be able to design the speed of the train. So remember when we're talking about going into the farmlands and sharing that bowl of rice. So we designed the speeds from 90 to 80 to 60 to 30. So when it goes around the most beautiful mountains and seaside, we slow down. When we go into these beautiful farm rice paddy fields, we stop completely and we go down and we interact with the locals. I'm really, really happy and honored that this train now exists in Taiwan, because now no longer Taiwan only has Taipei 101. Taiwan has this beautiful train that takes you into other cities. So you learn about all of our cultures and all of our histories. It was a great honor. Taiwan Railway has never received, in its 134-year history, received any design awards, because it's not about design. They finally, when we finished this train, they received a good design award. And last year, the train received the gold award of IIF design. So it was a really, really incredible honor for Taiwan Railway. This is now the managing director of Taiwan Railway. He's very, very thrilled and happy, because these things, don't happen in its 134-year history. It's really crazy. Last year was 75 gold awards, and only one went to Taiwan, and that one went to the train. He always says, if Taiwan Railway can use design to change our image, every government body can also achieve the same thing, because it's such a conservative government entity So even if they can reimagine the future, then he want to encourage everyone that everyone can also do the same. Something even more incredible happened that in January, JR, Japan Railway, came knocking on Taiwan Railway's door saying, we want to discuss design with you. So we're sitting down on the same platform, designer to designer, railway company to railway company. For the first time, we're discussing design, which is really incredible. Japan has the most beautiful design, and they're willing willing to communicate with us. It's a very touching moment for me. So what's next? From a production society to a design society.
船头冒出一条橘线，代表日出，象征开领未来。这艘就是大名鼎鼎澎湖轮，取代连续34年往返高雄和澎湖的台华轮。就在6号晚间正式起航前一刻，设计师首度曝光设计全过程。
So the next project I share is about this boat. This boat travels between the islands of Taiwan. It's been used for a very long time, almost 38, 40 years old. And our task is to make this boat even more beautiful. To go from this boat to this. To go from this old cabin to this. And from this old lobby to this. We have two main challenges. Challenge one, there's so many ways to get to the various islands. For example, the planes only takes 40 minutes. The fast boats takes 80 minutes. So why would anyone wants to take a slow boat that takes 6 hours to get there? So we think to ourselves, if we cannot be fast, if we cannot beat and cannot go faster, why don't we explore the idea of slowness? Maybe use slowness as a concept of our design. So what kind of slow? The boat is designed to travel to Penghu Island, which is almost like Hawaii in Taiwan. The Penghu is beautifully, slow lifestyle. What kind of slowness? It has tide, gradual, submerged slow, walking by the sea slow, paddling through the water slowness, and then swimming elegantly in the ocean slowness. Various of slowness goes into different materiality and textures that goes into the different cabins and design of the train. So essentially, this boat is like a floating island, Penghu Island, that travels on the sea of Taiwan. Challenge two. Actually, when we received the project, we are only a design consultant. The design and production was made totally in Japan. So we had to work with a Japanese design company. And these were some of the images that they were producing. So we realized there was a lot of misunderstanding about what this island is. So I give you two examples. The economy seat they design is somehow in reference to Penghu, but when we ask them what kind of reference they take, they say because Penghu has a lot of cactus, and so they wanted to use the cactus color inside, which resembles the green, the floor, and the curtains. We thought to ourselves, maybe there's another way to design it. Maybe we can incorporate more of what Penghu is really about. So we asked them, okay, maybe let's test out different materiality. Maybe let's use the color of the ocean, the walking by the beach's slowness into the depth of the ocean. So that's how we change the color of the seats, the ceiling, the corridor colors. We analyze a lot of beautiful seating design ideas. We even investigate how to have that sleeping, to have a very restful sleeping environment by pushing down all the lights onto the floor itself. Business seats. Okay, let's see business seat, how they do. So business seat, they gave us this, right? It's a very, very pink color. We were also astonished, like, wow, okay, how should we do this? Okay, so you don't know if you know, the cactus ice cream or the cactus juice is actually pink. And that's why it was chosen as the pink color for this. We say to ourselves, okay, maybe we should also go back to the idea of the overall general concept of the slowness, change the color of the seating to a deep ocean so you can relax, like floating. And then when you look up, it's a very warm wood color to bring you that sense of business class feel, more restful. We took this idea to change all the different cabins, the lobbies, the restaurants, and then to the exterior. These are some of the final images. And I want to just bring back a little bit. This is a transportation ship. This is a cargo ship. This is a ro-ro ship, which means the car can go on, go off. It transports 40 trucks, 40 buses. So it is essentially a ferry. It's not a cruise liner. But this ferry lets you see the most beautiful sea views as it goes across the different islands. It's just so amazing. The cheapest ticket is only $30, 30 US dollars. But you get views like this. So I really, really like to encourage you to come to Taiwan, take the train, take the boats, and then really experience Taiwan a different way. All from public transportation. So at the beginning, I'm saying Taiwan is beginning to change from production society into a design society. And I think by allowing us to think differently and outside the box, we can work with different nations, providing the best of our designs. And then the best of Japan, for example, they're very, very good at craftsmen and building things. So the two combined produce great, beautiful things together. This is some of the images when we're building the boat, and then the boat finally comes back to Taiwan. A really, really big celebration is it goes into the oceans, into Penghu. This is its opening day. Last year, September 12th, 2023. The kids are very happy from the island. But there's one thing I cannot change, or I want to change, which is the whole branding of it, right? The whole ceremony. As you can see, the ceremony of opening the ship is still very, very traditional. And since the ship is already has this beautiful concept, can we continue the concept in all of the other branding? That's the message I share with the director of Maritime Bureau. Continue the branding. So in Taiwan, when we're launching a big project like the ship or like a big building, so usually we give out a lot of gifts, right, to celebrate the occasion. And then the gift many times are this not very visually pleasant things. We're not sure what it is, but it's kind of, I'm not sure, I don't really want to keep it. So I want to really design something that can continue the essence of the ship. So what do we have? We brainstorm a lot. We see that the trip on the ocean between the different islands has many, many sea rubbish, ocean trash. Can we pick these up and make something out of it? We know Penghu has a huge, beautiful sun. And so we thought, can we use ocean trash and sunglasses, design to sunglasses, so that the two combined together will make a beautiful piece of gift, a branding continuation from the ocean all the way to that something you can hold on your hand. I want to show it to you here. Okay, that's the glasses. How's it? Anyway, the idea was if the president comes, everyone has their own glasses and it will look really cool, much more modern, much more better than that duck. Yeah. Yeah, so we're discussing about not only about designing and new things, but talking about sustainability and to continue that journey from what we see in the ocean and then into the branding itself of the glasses. How about Metro? Can we do something about it?
终点站新北产业园区，返程桃园机场捷运。
So this is actually designed last year, 2023. There was a big design exhibition in New Taipei City, and we were invited to see and test the new possibility of metro designs in Taiwan. This line is called the circular line. We were investigating all of the metro in Taiwan, and basically pretty much all the metro looks the same. It's like a cookie cutter, but just with different colors. There's really no characteristics between one or the next. But when we analyze the circle line, if we look closely, it actually passes by some of the most amazing industrial fields, industrial sectors of Taiwan. Okay, that makes, for example, the boats, maybe that makes the most beautiful metals and weaves. So we're thinking we want to bring locality into this metro. If we can bring a locality into this metro, then we really are talking about we can feel the circle line as we get on the train. So it's not a cookie cutter that you hear and there, it's all the same. How do we do this? We start to investigate who are the beautiful and the most important industry that are on these lines. For example, wood, fabric, plastic, metal, from all these great warehouses. And then we bring in all the beautiful craftsmen and the best knowledge of these things on board. So we create beautiful chairs like that, this exposing the metal structure, and building the weave inside it. It's almost like a beautiful lounge inside the metro. We even investigate the idea of lighting by using actually very simple, just metal mesh. This is the same lighting, but with the metal mesh, everything is now much more diffused and elegant. We changed the branding, not the branding, the CI. So it's just too much before. We make it so much more elegant. We change the exterior to resemble more of the circle line. We call it the moving craft because basically we're bringing all the craftsmen, the best knowledge on this line together. We built and we designed this train. So this is the old train, the new moving craft. We wanted to do something radical. I don't know if you go on your metros. You know, the metro, it just looks the same everywhere. Just a lot of like noodly lines everywhere, right? Can we do something beautiful too? So this is our proposal. A real circle line that captures all the other lines, that brings everything together. We did a couple of designs. This is really like almost like Tokyo Yamata Santo-sen, right? You're bringing all the station together with this circle. So isn't that more beautiful as you go into the city and then you see this, you know where you are, and then you want to experience it. I hope by me sharing, I hope to give you a sense of the designs that we're trying to do, where it's moving ahead, but moving ahead in the direction where we're understanding more about our culture and understanding locality and understanding about history, and then using that to create a new storyline. One more takeaway, if you're a designer, never give up. With one letter that you can change the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johnny, for this inspiring talk. And we will give our audience a chance to write their questions or to raise hand if they can. Okay, we have a question from Sayed, which is about black color. Is it safe? Let's say, is it safe to use that amount of black color?
On the train, right? I believe.
Actually, in all the projects, I noticed.
Oh, is it safe to use black? Okay, so the interior, yes, it's safe. On the train aspect, that's a very good question, by the way. On the train aspect, we did talk about if we use too much black. So there are some areas that needs to be highlighted. So that even if there's total blackout, that if there's a flashlight that you can see the train coming. So at the head of the train, there's actually orange sections. So it's a bright color that jump out. So it did comply with all the safety codes. The interior of the train, we want black because imagine if we use white and then you have a window and then you have views on the outside. You see there's not much contrast and the whitewash everything on the outside. But if you have a black interior and then you just have that view, somehow that view is magnified. And then you only concentrate on whatever sunlight and beautiful vegetation, biophilia, oceans, islands that you see on the outside. So I think that contrast actually is what we're trying to find in this project, in the train project.
Yeah, I can tell that we are in Middle East or in Arab countries. We are very careful using black with the dust amount that we have.
Right. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, back to how did you decide which traditional Taiwanese elements to incorporate into the design? How could you provide? Can you provide some specific examples?
Okay, so okay, it's a very good question again. It varies on the locality. So I always, because I'm my background is architect, so I always search for the locality. Whatever is around can inspire me. So like the metro, yeah, the metro goes through the line. So we go through this New Taipei City. we go and check out each of the warehouses and finding the most beautiful things. And we invite them to on the train and design with us. So we didn't actually design the whole thing. It's a very, very collaborative process. A very interesting one too. And for me, that's very local. So when you go on the metro, there's no other metro elsewhere that brings in the craftsman on board, right? So and also that locality, the local craftsman. So when you go on board, you can really feel a sense of whatever you see outside is actually what's being represented inside. I think that to me is very beautiful. But if we're talking about a national scale, right, a whole island of Taiwan, so what can you bring that's local? I mean, everything in Taiwan is local, if you want to say that. So what I did is I pick a couple of things that is most unique on the journey. For example, we will go through a very beautiful cliff section, and you see a lot of beautiful marbles on the outside. I bring that marble surface and then bring it to the bar design. We'll circle into a old capital where they make very traditional furnitures. I remember I was sitting on one of my grandmother's couch made from bamboo weavings, rock bamboo weavings. So I want to capture that memory. And so you see all the chairs in the train design that has that element to it. And so various of elements of where I think best represent this route, I bring it in. And I feel that's the best way to represent the whole journey experience.
Another question from our colleague Loai regarding the sustainability of the projects mentioned in your interesting presentation. Is it more as economic sustainability improving tourism in Taiwan, or also as environmental sustainability?
Sorry, you might have to repeat the question.
Okay, this is a question from my colleague Loai regarding the sustainability of the projects mentioned in your interesting presentation. Is it more as an economic sustainability improving tourism in Taiwan, or also as an environmental sustainability?
I think that's also a very good question. It is economical sustainability for the most part. Of course, reusing the old train is very, very smart. If you reuse and refurbish the old train to make a new business model, that's the best thing. You don't have to waste more CO2, right? And demolish, and you have all this energy consumption waste. So it is best of both worlds, actually. I know for a fact that the train now makes a lot of nice profits for the company, which I'm really, really happy. So that it's no longer providing a transportation, it's providing experience, and experience is worth to pay some money for it. Yeah, so thank you for the question, but I think this economic sustainability using something old is really what my practice are really looking forward to discovering old things, but bringing a new storyline to it, not forgetting the old, but creating something new from it.
Okay, going back to the disciplines that being implemented or employed in the projects, she showed us a train, then a boat, then a metro. And you are an architect, and also you utilized many of the experience in design, in the interior design, but also it's more industrial. So there is a lot of other disciplines or factors that you need to consider during designing interior for a train, with vibration, with movement. Can you give us like a brief, what are the considerations that you have to consider while designing a moving objects?
Yeah, it's a learning curve for me too, but it's not as complicated as one might imagine. Of course, there's a lot of discussion about the weight of the water tank. So because it's a new kitchen, right? So I cannot put in too big a water tank, or the lighting system, because the train lighting system, there's also only a couple of power outage. Most of it has to go to the locomotive. So we have to reinvent the new lighting system. We have to reinvent the new aircon system. there's a lot of engineering behind all of it. But I think what's interesting is because I'm from an architecture interior background, not an industrial background. So this idea of time, feeling, materiality can all suddenly be designed inside this train or the boat. So you get more than just this object. I think that's something very fortunate for us. We design hotels, we design spas, restaurants, you know, and all this idea can combine into this few cards. And I think that's, yeah, we're just very fortunate to have the opportunity to integrate all our knowledge and experience into these three transportations.
I think I can wrap with last question I have here. In terms of cultural impact, why it is important to reflect Taiwanese identity in the metro system, for instance, how does this project contribute to preserving and promoting cultural heritage?
I think it's important because for me personally, I don't want to go on the metro in Berlin, in London, in Japan, and I feel the same thing. If I can successfully make this one line very local, so I will want to travel to this local train, right? Local metro and experience that. And then I want to travel to another line and experience that localness, another line to experience that. So every train has its unique identity. So it's not a cookie cutter. With a unique identity, then you can really bring out each of the townships that surrounds it. And I think that is a very, very important thing. More than just views. Of course, the metro has views. You can look out to different things. But what if the views are bought inside the metro to something you can experience? So something outside is something same as inside. That connection of experience, I think it's very important for me.
Johnny, thank you again for having you today with us in Design Talk, and we thank you again for this inspiring presentation, and looking to see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.